All right, you guys, it's time to rise and thrive. I'm Tricia Turner. It is the last Monday of June 2026. This is crazy. We're at the halfway marker of the year, even crazier. And we are here to give you some positivity about faith, family, finances, or fitness, or all of those things, mostly pertaining to real estate, because that's the world that we live in. And I have Maggie, Amy, and Paul with me today. Hello, you guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Maggie, you're muted.
You are. Oh my goodness. Okay, now I'm not.
You are not. Y'all, and for us in the real estate space, this conflict in Iran is still going on. And when we were looking at coming out of 2025, we were like, yeah, we have all these indicators that we're going to have this amazing 2026. Interest rates are coming down. We're going to have sales like through the roof, and everyone was geared up for it. And then boom, there's a conflict in Iran. And then interest rates went up a little bit, but they're only at like 6.5. That's where they've been since the conflict started, 6.2 to 6.6. So here's where we are today, end of June 2026. The grateful thing is that if this would have happened last year when rates were higher, we would have been at like 7.5, which would have shut down our market. So I'm super thankful for this. And I told our people this morning, I'm like, you know what? People need to stop talking about the interest rates because this is what it is. And the new predictions show that we're likely going to be at this rate. The Mortgage Bankers Association predicts it, and Fannie Mae through 2027. What's your thoughts about that, Maggie?
Well, I feel that buyers that are in a growing situation, they're expecting life is happening. Life is always going to happen. So when people ask me, is it a good time to buy? I ask them, I ask them that, is it a good time for you to buy in this season? Do you need it because you're expecting? Are you downsizing? Do you need to move because of a job? Like, what is the reason why you would want to buy or sell?
Yep. Love it. Amy, what's your thoughts on this?
I think that we just have to be a little bit more creative and embrace the idea of, okay, this is what interest rates are. Or the other option is go to a new build. There's so many new build opportunities out there. I got a call yesterday from one of the new build partners, and they were like, Amy, we can offer interest rates at 3.99 if their credit is above a 620. And so I think realtors just have to go, and if their client needs that lower interest rate in order to be able to afford the house, to make it affordable, then I think they have to work a little bit harder and be strategic and go after new builds, because there are so many opportunities out there. There are also lenders with different programs, and they're changing the programs literally weekly. Yeah. So I think that right now you have to have your friends that are your lenders, and your lenders become your best friend, because you are calling them, daily to find out what are the new opportunities out there. So we just have to think outside the box.
We do. And I think people need to get over I'm going to wait for rates to come back down. Well, you might be waiting for a long, long time. I think when you look at home values, and I was studying them earlier, if you look at, and again, now we're about to hit July 1, which is this week. So historically, July starts to mark the change in the season in the real estate world, where you don't see prices go up and you don't see inventory go up. I think that we will see inventory go up even further, because we have a lot of homes coming to the market. We have a new construction big time. Amy, in your area, which you guys, she's north, and Amy's even norther, right, Amy, now? That's even a word. Now. Where are you now, Amy? Tell everybody where you've adjusted to.
So I'm now right at the edge of Magnolia and Montgomery. I'm 15 minutes from the edge of Tomball, 20 minutes from the edge of the Woodlands. So I'm really embracing this northwest sector. There's so much growth up here. 1486 has been impacted by major developers, luxury developers, acreage developers, and just traditional subdivisions. So master plan communities. There's so much growth up here. And actually the sales up here are shockingly good. A lot of new builds are selling. And that's what, when I was analyzing the market this morning, definitely people are being strategic, and they're looking at where can I embrace lower interest rates and actually incentives. I think builders got a little bit excited because we thought the market was going to flip in our favor, and we didn't know there was going to be this conflict in Iran. And so builders are like, you know what? Instead of building, 10 new spec homes, we're going to go build 100. And when they have 100, each builder now has 10. You got 10 builders. They're going to incentivize. They are going to slash rates. They're going to give us so many opportunities to encourage buyers to buy now and not wait. So that's what we have to do.
When you talk about like the northwest, especially kind of where you are, walk everyone through like a price point, because of course in different parts of Houston, because we're all in different areas of Houston, some areas focus more on the lower end, like under 500, under 400. Where are you seeing most of the opportunity there?
So interesting thing about 1486, we have Magnolia Springs and we have Wild Tree, and these Magnolia Springs starts in the 200s, Wild Tree starts in the 300s, Creston is inching closer to 400s, Colton 400s, and then you have the luxury communities like Blue Jack, High Meadow West, High Meadow Estates, and Crown Ranch. So it's definitely a mixed bag. I will say Creston is doing incredibly well. They are between high 300s and 800s, doing well. And then in luxury, things that are over $1 million, what I'm seeing is there's a lot of inventory.
Yeah.
So the luxury builders got a little excited, and we have a lot of inventory, but we do have buyers. So right now for one of my luxury listings, I have 4 different potential buyers, and I actually called them all this morning. 3 of the agents didn't answer. 1 agent did, and she said, Amy, the home is beautiful, but we really want this fabulous backyard. So instead of encouraging my clients to price drop, I encourage them to incentivize. I said, you know what? Throw them an incentive. You were going to drop the price by $100K. Instead of dropping it $100K, why don't you just say, we will give you $100K towards your backyard of your dreams?
Yep.
So that's what we're going to do. And guess what? We're going under contract.
Do you find that more of your buyers there are, because the data shows that buyers are being super selective now. It's got to be priced right. It's got to be in a great location, and it's got to be in great condition. Are you seeing the same thing there?
What's funny is here in the luxury, it's not really about the pricing. It's really about the amenities. And what does that backyard include? What does it have the largest primary bedroom? So my builders out here, including myself as a builder, we're saying, hey, do you want us to expand the bedroom? Hey, do you want us to add incentivize for the pool? It's really not about price dropping in the luxury. Now, I would say in the lower home sector, it definitely, when we price drop, they're selling faster, but it's a lot of incentives. People are wanting closing costs. People are wanting, you know what? I want all your furniture. And we're like, yes. Okay, if this is what you sell the house, take the bed. Yes. I mean, it's really creative thinking at this point. And so I keep telling my sellers, don't just jump to price drop. Actually listen for clues of what these buyers want.
Yep. I love that. Maggie, you're on the other side of the market there. Tell everybody where you are, where kind of your focus is, and what you're seeing in the market there as we enter this halftime.
So I live in the east side, and my market center that I primarily focus on is the east and the south side of town. In the east side, what I am seeing, we have a ton of inventory, a ton of new construction. A lot of it is priced under $350,000, and this is like Porter, New Caney, Crosby, Huffman, Baytown, even Anahuac. There's a lot of options, a lot of buyers, a lot of options, so definitely if you are listing a resale home, you need to be very strategic about it. It needs to be priced right. And if you want to price at the highest level, then it just needs to be, charming and in top-notch shape. No lifted shingles and wanting a price very, very high. So definitely the resale market is struggling a bit because there's just so much inventory, especially in the Crosby and Baytown area. Now we go to the south side of town, and that's like Deer Park, LaPorte, Pasadena, South Houston, even Pearland, Manville area. We have, let me focus more on Pasadena, LaPorte, and Deer Park. That market, there is no resales. And if you do, it's very, it's custom builders. And that market is in high demand. And if you price right and prep accordingly, then you're able to get that listing off the market very quickly. But of course, if you just go in there and wanting a price very high and it's just not ready to show, it's sitting on the market, and then you're seeing a lot of price decreases.
Yes. Are y'all also seeing on the resale side, are you seeing where buyers are being like extremely aggressive with these inspections and their things that they want, or they walk away?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I'm experiencing on both sides. So
Yes.
when I am the buyer's agent, I'm like, okay, we want blah, 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 blah. And when I'm on the listing side, I'm also, they're coming at me like that. So
what is your message to sellers then? Maggie, start with you, like for resale.
For resale, whenever we go in there to our listing appointment, we set expectations. We let them know, hey, if we're especially in Baytown or in the Crosby area, we tell them there's a lot of new construction. So you wanting a price at this price point, they can get this new construction home for a 3.99 interest rate with all appliances, sod in the front and backyard with Bermuda grass and gutters all the way around. So we just let them know, and we definitely go through the comparables, and we tell them, hey, in order for us to sell quickly, this is what I recommend that we do.
Yeah. How about you, Amy? What are you telling your people, your sellers?
I'm setting the expectation that they have to be prepared to think outside the box, and that we're going to really analyze the feedback from our open houses and really listen and try to get feedback from every showing that happens, because buyers agents are very lazy. They like to show 27 houses and then feedback on none.
Yes.
So my Monday mornings are always full of following up with every showing from the weekend and every lead we have, because in the luxury market, they don't make quick decisions. So right now, the offer we're supposed to be getting this week, we've been working on them for 6 weeks.
Isn't that crazy? It's like, I don't think people are even impulsive buying anymore, because they come back, then they come back again, then they come back again, then they have questions and more. And then sometimes you never hear from them again. Like they just disappear. And it's the craziest market ever, because I think that, and I said it to a seller over the weekend, I said, I think the buyers are overwhelmed with their options. Like there's so much to choose from. It's a lot. It's confusing.
It is. I will say though, when I'm working with my investors, it's the opposite. So I took one of my investors yesterday to Chapel Hill and Round Top, and we viewed 2 properties, and he put in an offer on one. But it was a very assertive offer. And yes, he did ask for a car and for food. He also wanted the spoons. So
the spoons.
Yes, because he wants to use it for rental property. So he's like, there's spoons and forks there, they should leave them. And I said, I agree. And on the listing, it says not furnished. I'm like, you're selling an income property not furnished. Why would you do that? If I was a listing agent, I would say you need to sell it furnished, because people want to turn and burn. They want to make money tomorrow. They don't want to have to sit here and find all these furnishings and buy spoons.
On the south side, Maggie, are you seeing or have you experienced yet people coming to the table having to bring money, your sellers, or people having to terminate because they don't have money to bring to the closing table?
So whenever we go to our listing appointments, this is something that I am very, very intentional with going into. If I know that they're upside down, I always recommend alternative creative ways to not be upside down. So, either seller financing or putting it on the market as a rental. But we try not to go there where my sellers have to come out of pocket.
Yeah. But are you seeing it there?
Not really, Tricia. I have not.
Okay.
And the south side, no. I think that would be more on the east side, because the south side is more of an established market center. You don't really. It's more in the east side, especially like in the Baytown area. Whenever I have a listing and it's a new construction home that they bought 2 years ago, I'm like, okay, you paid the bare minimum, or you were on down payment assistance. You're clearly upside down. So this is what I recommend that we do. This is the approach we should move in.
How about you, Amy?
If they're questioning whether they're going to be upside down, I send the potential numbers to title, and have them on a net sheet. And if we can sell it for X amount, what's the walk away, or are they upside down? So we're prepared in the very beginning, and that helps us structure the deal. Some of my listings, I've told them to wait because I'm like, you're so far upside down, you're going to be coming to the table with $10,000. So you might as well just sit and wait till that appreciation happens. And I said, well, I'll reanalyze it every season. And when I see it bump up in your area, because it is area specific, right?
Yeah.
The Woodlands is like a bubble. It holds a different appreciation versus say Humble. And up here where I'm at in Montgomery, it's a different playground than even the Woodlands. So it's not like we can say across the board, oh, it's 6.5%, you're going to be at this certain appreciation or this equity position. It's like, no, what is your neighborhood doing?
Yeah.
And so I have a list of people that wanted to list and I told them not to. I said, you need to wait, because if I'm going to be a fiduciary to you, I would think of your money as my own and what would I do for my own investment. And if I wouldn't go upside down, I wouldn't encourage you to do that either.
Yeah.
Agree.
We see here, like we're on the west side and far west, everything west. And of course, we have new construction all over around us. Everywhere around us is a lot of new construction. And a lot of the new construction developments are master plan communities, which everyone wants. And then a lot of the master plan communities have inventory that's just sitting, some of them over 100 homes. So it's like, that's a lot to compete with. And of course, a lower interest rate. So we have, we're dealing with actually right now, several sellers that are in the middle of pre-foreclosure. And we're thankfully getting them under contract. So they're coming to the table, some of them with money, some of them walking away, with barely anything, but at least they're getting out of the situation. Mm-hmm. But they bought when home values were up. They bought before the shift. So they bought in 2021 or the early part of 2022. And it's like, oh, we paid at the top of the market and now we're at the complete opposite. You're at a much lower market. And if you have to sell right now, like and even in our area, if we turn it into a rental, that market's saturated too. It's like, all right, well, we're going to turn it into a rental, but you're only going to be able to get this amount of money. And you may not even get enough to cover your mortgage. You may have to throw in a couple $100 a month to help meet that and at least get through this next year and see where we are in 2027.
I'm experiencing that, Tricia. Yes, with
it's
the
crazy.
We put it in as a rental and they have to come out of pocket, $150, $200.
I think there's just so much unrealistic expectations from the sellers from the COVID market about what their home value really is. And so many of them, because there was like so much publicity everywhere about, look how much my home is worth. Look how much I sold my home for. Look how much I sold my home for. And like time has went by. That was 5 years ago. But if you talk to a seller, they're like, well, my neighbor sold their home and they got this for it. And then you ask them, well, when was that? And they're like, I don't know. I think it was like last year. And you go and look, and it was, well, no, it was actually during COVID. That was 5 years ago. And that we're in a completely different market, but it's like ingrained in these sellers' brains that was the value of their home. And it so wasn't. And now when you're telling them this is real market value of your home, they are like defeated. Like, oh my gosh, I've missed the market. And it's like, that was a fake market. And these conversations we're having to have every single day with sellers, which is exhausting, but it's reality, on all markets, even in our markets that are hotter, we've got sellers that are on the market in areas, neighborhoods where homes usually fly off. Their homes are beautiful. They're priced right. They're everything, but no offers, no visitors, no showings, no nothing. And it's like, what is going on? And they look at you like you're doing something wrong. It's like, I'm not doing anything wrong. It's the craziest market ever. We're going to get through this though, y'all.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think, you guys, and so Paul, jump in on this. So Paul, you guys know Paul is like our artificial intelligence person that keeps us checked in. Do you think, and I don't even know, like with AI, that is going so fast. Like you're even saying, like it's changing. The things you can do with it are changing so rapidly. People got to stay up to this. I don't think that's had any bearing on the market at all. I think what it's had a bearing on is real estate agents. I think real estate agents are looking for that shiny object more than ever because of artificial intelligence, and they're just still trying to get around the fact that they just have to do the work. What's your thoughts, Paul?
I agree wholeheartedly. I would say that people are looking for the easy opportunity and getting distracted by a lot of noise that's out there. Um, as far as it affecting like people buying right now, I don't necessarily think that that's what's happening. I will say that a huge there was a statement that was put out. I forgot who said it, but they say that AI reduced massively reduced the cost of intelligence. So before there were a lot of degrees that put you in a position to where you could charge for whatever you wanted to charge somebody for, just for them to have access to your brain. But due to artificial intelligence, it kind of decreased that a lot. I mean, I know we've all seen in China that they removed a lot of degrees from their course curriculum. I mean, from their universities because they're irrelevant. But as far as it goes with real estate agents and not doing the work, I will say that it has crippled a lot of them. Not anybody that's in our area, but a lot of them across
Our world.
Our world.
No, when you see, like I was telling them on the morning community this morning, guys, I was listening to a Tom Ferry podcast this morning, and in that he was interviewing this lady, and she does only listings, and she's been doing it for, I think she said 8 years, and she focuses primarily on listings, even in a market where it's more challenging, such as ours, and there's a lot of inventory. You can pivot in your career, like much like we're all like adding things and doing things differently, especially Amy, to insulate your income and insulate your family, like everything, because the market is so volatile. But at the end of the day, if you're working on sales transactions, selling, listings are the name of the game. That builds a solid pipeline, that builds solid leads. Every listing should turn into another listing if done correctly. She said something, and I was listening to her interview, and she said on the podcast this morning, she said she thinks that sellers are using artificial intelligence for two things. She thinks that three. They're going in and finding out what their home is worth, what artificial intelligence tells them that their home is worth, number one. They're looking for the best real estate agent. If it's someone that focuses on foreclosures, they're looking for that. If it's someone that focuses on luxury, that's a keyword. If it's someone that focuses this on their area, that's a keyword. And then they're going in and they're asking, what are the top 10 questions I should ask my real estate agent during the interview? And she said she encourages her agents and herself to go into their own artificial intelligence and say, I'm going to a listing appointment at 123 Main Street. What are the top 10 questions I'm likely going to get asked there? And she says it has helped them be more prepared when they're going on their listing appointment. Paul, I'll go back to you on this. How much of that do you think is true? How important do you then think it is for people like Amy and Maggie and I to be making sure that we're using those right things for the consumers to find us using artificial intelligence?
I think that is a great idea. However, I would change some things. Just knowing humans, us people. It's kind of like if you asking ChatGPT to give you the top questions that you're going to get asked during a listing presentation, right? And if you do like we typically do, you get a cheat sheet for a test. Just think of yourself in school, whether it was grade school, college, or whatever, and you get a cheat sheet that you read, like you just read this one cheat sheet. Yep. And then you go into your test, and then all of a sudden you find out all the questions are completely different. The only thing that you sat there and studied was what ChatGPT told you to study. And so when you go into that listing appointment and that seller, which ChatGPT does not know anything about them, your ChatGPT does not know if that seller is an engineer. It doesn't know if that seller is a nurse. It doesn't know if that seller is an investor. So it has no idea what questions may come up. But you go in there and you're just being very simple, and you told ChatGPT to look up 123 Main Street and give me the top 10 questions. You go in there, you've studied those questions, you know the answers to them like at the back of your hand. And then when you get in there, you get hit with a completely different question. and then you just sit there like a deer in headlights. So I think it's a great, I think it's a cool tool that you could potentially use, but I don't think that it's fully baked out. So what I created for us and the people in our community, if y'all did the limitless listings, or you've gone to any of our top agent playbooks, I created a program that you get your ChatGPT to run value for you, right? Understand this, anybody, if you're a seller, you're a buyer, currently listening, in the state of Texas, we are a non-disclosure state. Remember that. We are a non-disclosure state, and the only thing that artificial intelligence has access to is whatever's publicly available. That means that when your home sold for $500,000, when ChatGPT goes to look up for what home sold for in the last 30 days, it's not going to see 500,000. It's going to see a range. It's going to see somewhere from like 450 to 550,000. It's going to just be a big range. So what ChatGPT is doing is making a guess, right? An educated guess of what the value should be for that home. So when you're asking ChatGPT, what is the value of my home? Just know it's making an educated guess, and it's not really giving you factual information. Or what should I offer on this home is giving you an educated guess and not giving you factual information. So I created a program where you, the real estate agent, assists your ChatGPT in really coming to the true value of the home. And what that program is designed to do after you get it, after you and ChatGPT get on the correct value, it gives you a full report, like a full snapshot report that you can digest. That's going to tell you everything about the comps in the area. It's going to tell you typically how many days you should sit for at this price that you listed for. It's going to tell you about the demographics of the neighborhood. It's going to tell you about the history of the neighborhood. It's going to tell you about the area, the community, what's happening. That way, if you, instead of doing those 10 questions or 20 questions or however many questions it gives you, if you fully understand just by reading that, maybe like 4 or 5 times, everything about the market that happened in that neighborhood, everything about those homes in that neighborhood, the buyer profiles that purchased it, when you walk into that listing appointment, there is no question that's associated with that house that you should not be able to answer. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yes.
So,
with expert.
I say there's a lot of people have great ideas out there. A lot of people have great ideas of ways you can use it, but there's always a way that you can take it a step further. And you have to really, when you're creating these things or recommending these things, you have to honestly look into the psychology of people and the way that we're going to use things and what would give us the biggest return, and what, in doing that, what could cause us the most harm. So I call it the engineer in me. I always factor in what I call the coefficient of human error. So if there's human error there, I try to get rid of it. But I believe in having it give you a full report, like a full report, something that you can consume, digest. That way you have all the specific information about that home, so you don't get
Amy, I was sitting when he was saying all that, I was like, Amy has done a whole different thing. Like, for one, Amy, mostly you use your ChatGPT a lot with your builds, right? Oh, you're muted. You're muted, Amy.
I use ChatGPT a lot with my investors because we run pro formas, we run analysis. I use it with builds on design, and I use ChatGPT a lot for social media.
Yep. And then in your world, Amy, I would say probably most of your listing appointments and the stuff that you do is on referral business, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah. And in that kind of, when you set yourself up like that, you're less likely to walk into the home of a stranger, because these are warmer people if you don't already know them.
This is true.
A much easier way to run a listing business, for sure, which I love. Maggie, you're on the other side, I think you talk to a lot of like cold people and leads and stuff because they're strangers, right?
No,
Are
I'm
yours, because that's how mine
referral.
is.
I am referral based to the max.
Do you ever talk to cold leads, like people that are just coming in off calls?
Yes, actually, I received an email last week on Thursday, and he has his property listed with a really big agent here in the Houston area, and I think they're listing. No, not I think they're listing agreements over soon. So I got the listing, and I didn't know him, and yes, it's almost $1 million, and
Isn't that
talking.
amazing?
So I'm excited about that.
Yes. It's so crazy though when you're looking at like your conversations that you have. Number one, you should always be the market expert, and that's how people will reach out to you because they know that you're known for that. But number two, with all these tools, and I was saying on our community this morning, I was like, if people you're going to use ChatGPT or whatever you use for your as your assistant and to do research and to do all these things for you, yes, it's an incredible tool. But at the end of the day, if you would just focus on yourself and becoming the best version of you and being that market expert, we can walk into these listing appointments at any time and know the numbers of the home, know how to have the conversations, know what it's going to take to get it sold. That's what people need to focus on, and not looking for this next shiny object. Now, I want to switch gears a little bit with you guys. It's, again, end of June coming up. We are all with Realty of America, for you guys that didn't know. And we just watched Mark and Eddie in Puerto Rico open Puerto Rico. And I was sitting there, I was reading in Housing Wire this morning. We all, Amy and I were at EXP together. And so EXP is a great company. They've been the pioneer in all of this. And there's a lot of people doing big numbers in EXP for sure. I personally, they've been kind of at their agent count number for a long time. You haven't seen big growth. You've seen it, attrition, and then they'll gain some more, and then attrition, and then they'll gain some more, kind of, but maintaining the same. Real, I just pulled it this morning. They are at 35,000 now. So Real has seen a bigger gain lately. But interestingly, I talked to someone last week about Real, and he's with Real, probably not forever. And his big concern is, and he said, if you look at Real and the history of Real, because we're talking about growth, and with Realty of America, we are now, like, Eddie's on the front page of Housing Wire and all these things. And so that's when growth really starts happening, when you see other countries opening and you're on the front page of publications. Then things start really, then people are like, oh, well, hold on a second, let me look at this. With Real, this guy that I know, he was saying, if you look at the growth, there's this core, and we were at Real too, so we know this behind the scenes stuff. There's a core group of, say, 12-ish people that got into Real around the same time, and they've all become friends. It's kind of like a clique. And this is from this guy, and I can't say his name, but he's inside information. He said, if you look at them, when they first joined Real, they weren't like big producers at all. And Real wasn't really a big producing company. If you look at Tamir was on the investor side. He had doors. He wasn't like a big salesperson in the real estate world. He was like Glenn Sanford was tech. Like, he was freaking massive tech at Keller Williams. So he knew that whole platform. Well, when Tamir added Sharon onto the platform there, that's, if you look at their growth, it was Sharon and then this group of like 12, most of them not being high producers. They got really good at social media, right? And made it look like things were growing really fast. Sharon, though, is one of the smartest business people in the world. Everyone says it too. And he was there when we were there, and my gosh, he is. And so he was instrumental in growing Real. If you look at their growth pattern, most of it happened when he was there. It's interesting. Now he's been gone, and he's over at acquisitions.com with Alex Hermosi. And so it'll be interesting when you look at who will be the front runner and front runners as this industry continues to evolve, when we have like things like Bed Bath and Beyond merging with Fathom or acquiring Fathom. It's like that in and of itself is the craziest thing. What's your thoughts? We'll start with you, Maggie, on Realty of America, our growth. your thoughts of it so far. We've been in it a year and a half, future, and all these acquisitions and mergers in real estate.
Well, this is the first rev share company that I've ever joined. Before I was with KW. Great. They taught me a lot, my foundation and everything. But being with Realty of America, I didn't know anything about revenue share, and just seeing the money hit my bank account every 20th of the month. I mean, it's been a very, very big blessing. So I don't know a lot about rev share the way that you and Amy do. But I am so very happy and blessed to be in this company where I now have a piece of the company, and I know that every month on the 20th, my mortgage is going to get paid. My car is going to get paid through just doing what I was doing before. Mm-hmm. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed besides my bills getting paid.
Isn't that crazy?
It is bizarre. It is insane. It is the biggest blessing ever. I mean, it's what a blessing. It's a blessing.
Yeah.
It is a blessing.
And if you look at like time-wise, so EXP is around for, I think, 16 years now. So 16 years, they're 90,000 agents. I didn't pull their data. So that's where they've been, like hovering around 88 to 92. So somewhere in there. Real's been around like 5 years less than them. So the Real's like 10 or 11 years now, and they're at 35,000. We're at not even 2 years. And I think we're at like, what, 3,500? We're coming right up on 3,500 with Puerto Rico coming in now. Y'all, that like for growth wise. And it's so funny because like we get into these conversations with people all the time. And I tell people, I'm like, well, for one, like Mark and Eddie, the founder and co-founder of this company, didn't have to do this. Like they were already set, like they had already accomplished everything they had ever set out to accomplish. But they have this vision of building the greatest real estate company in America. And I sat down with two Compass agents on Friday. And one of them's already with us. She was a former Compass agent. She's now with us. But her friend is not with us yet. And her friend has been at Compass for 9 years. So her friend has been at Compass since pretty much Compass started. And I said to her, and she does good business. She works on the luxury side. And so they looked at their numbers because they were a team of two. And last year alone, they paid Compass $160,000, those two. And I said, that's insane. You do realize that. Like, if you think of what you could have done with all that money. And one of them, the one that's not with us yet, her response was, well, in the luxury space, I think that the name matters. And Compass, I think, has gone above and beyond and being instrumental in getting their name out in the luxury space. And I said, to a degree, they've been like at it, and they have spent a fortune acquiring agents in the luxury space to try to get that luxury space. But if you think of the money that you spent, that you gave Compass, if you just took a piece of that and spent it on your own marketing and branding in your own community and your own area, they wouldn't even know who Compass was. They'd only know you. Amy, what's your thoughts on all of that I just said?
Well, I was just looking it up. If you saw me looking to the side, because I was checking the stats. And yes, I was with EXP, started with them in 2018. In 2018, they had 14,000 agents. I just looked up stats. They actually peaked in 2023 with 87,000 agents, and now they are down to 83,000 agents. So they're in a negative position. And where I think the difference right now with Realty of America is we started with top producing agents that were hungry. They weren't tech guys. They weren't giant businessmen. They were just hardworking people that started with an amazing foundation and grew their own individual boutique brokerages. And then Eddie, as you know, he leveraged and went into multiple cities. People wanted him to be in multiple states. And then he birthed Realty of America. What has been 20 months now?
Yeah.
20 months. And we're at a little over 3,400, inching up to 3,500. And I think what's happening is it's it's a marathon, right? We're not in a sprint. I don't think we're going to get to 25,000 agents overnight, but I think we're building it the right way. And I'm actually doing the same thing in my business because I was with EXP. I peaked at EXP with 185 agents in my revenue group. And my average check was anywhere from 8,800 to 10,000 a month is what I was getting at EXP with 180 agents. Currently, I have 41 agents, and my check last month was 7,700. So it's a different way to grow. It's strategic, and I think that the important aspect in this is Realty of America. They're not going after mass numbers, anyone and everyone, and just signing people up in a back alley. I think they're actually like, let's look for leaders, top producers, performers, entrepreneurs, and people that are willing to pour into other agents and go, look, let me show you when this market goes one way. It's not that the market's bad right now. It's just that it's different.
Yep.
Right? Because I can tell you this, my money hasn't changed from this year to last year. It hasn't really changed. Does it change from year to year? Yes, but I think you have to just go with the market.
Yeah.
I have the potential this year to make more than I've ever made.
Isn't that crazy? But remember what you've done though. You've been very strategic and pivoting, and opportunities have been coming at you. You're manifesting it, and they're coming, and you're going, like, which is super cool. And I think, like I told this lady Friday, I said, and she said that she last year for her was their best year ever. So they had paid in all that money to Compass. That was their best year ever. This year is her worst year. She's having her worst year ever. And she feels alone. She does go to the office, so that's important for her. And I told her, I said, what you have to keep in mind, though, is that in the Compass model, you guys are at no cap there. And she explained to me some of their splits and some of their structure, and it's based on your production. But she said with her biggest thing is this luxury model. And I told her, I said, well, at Realty of America, ours is launching. Like, we've already approved the signs, and they're super pretty. They do look completely different than the signs that we're using. And we'll be putting that out there really soon. And if you were going to be really strategic, you should jump in on this with us now, because no one in your little market there where you want to focus is with us. And your signs are going to be like, boom, like, who's that? That's the kind of stuff people look at. So I will tell you another thing that they both were interested in is women of ROA. Like, they want to be part of something. And so we do have a Women of ROA group. So we're doing the food bank thing on July 17th. They want to come to that. So I think more so than anything, like, the gap between the haves and the have-nots in the real world and in the real estate space is gotten bigger. And I think people that are having their worst year and are struggling, they're looking for, like, they don't want to get out of real estate. No one says, oh, I got into this, for the heck of it. Now I'm going to go get a job. No, but they feel defeated, and I think they feel alone. And I think they're looking for community. And Amy, you and I were at EXP for years. I think we at one point had a women group. I don't know. Maybe they do now, but I don't recall it ever doing anything. I know at Real, I think they tried to form something too, but I think it's more cliquish. Whereas we're literally on the front runners of this and trying to get everyone to come join us. Like, everybody come to the food bank, women. Like, I think that stuff's important. And I think that as we build this right, like you said, Amy, with the right people coming, it's built on friendships and relationships, and then of course production. And when you have all that mixed in, it doesn't get any better than that,
Well, the mindset is so powerful. So you can be a really smart person, do something alone and be successful, but you won't be fulfilled. And I mean, I was there at one point. I was alone and successful, and it was the most awful feeling of my life. I think being successful around people that support you, that collaborate with you, that cheer you on when you're not in the room. I said, I mean, that's a game changer, right?
Yeah.
You have people that just love on you, because then when you wake up and you get, like Tricia, you'll comment on my stuff, and I'm like, oh, she loves me. I'm so happy. And Maggie's always like, there's my sister. I love her. And it makes I don't know, it makes the world a better place. It makes your mindset go to that ultimate positivity so fast. And I think mindset is a game changer. I think that if you do have the mindset of being strategic, right, having strategic intention and going after, I want people who have the same beliefs, meaning they believe in growth and they believe in feast over famine.
Yeah.
They believe in really pouring into others. It is a game changer. And when I was with EXP, I learned a lot of great things. I made some really good money. But at the end of the day, when I had people leave because they couldn't afford the model, they had monthly fees and such, the people above me said, you know what? One leaves, Amy, go bring on 10 more. And it was simply a numbers game. They didn't care.
Yeah.
And that really, to me, I was like, if you don't care about them, you probably don't care about me. So why am I here?
Yeah, it's funny that you say that, because when we left, there was people that I thought I would hear from that I didn't. And I was like, dang, that wasn't okay. You know, when you left Keller Williams, Maggie, did you feel the same way? Did you think that you would hear from certain people and then you didn't?
I actually keep up with everyone.
That's
I think
good.
everyone, it was just, I respect them. They respect me. Actually this morning, Austin from Keller Williams, Houston Central, he's like, hey, I'm having this training, stop by, and we support each other. So I'm going to go to his training on Wednesday.
For sure.
So I feel like with the KW community, there is a lot of love, and I root for them. They cheer for me, and I love that. But I do agree with you, being with Realty of America and being a part of Women of ROA. I mean, that's my happy place. When I'm around you, I'm like, I'm truly 1000% my authentic self, which I'm just Maggie with my little loafers that are all run down. And
she does show up with those. Yeah, she's frozen. She shows up with those shoes. It's hilarious. I'm excited. I think, I was telling you guys before we went live that the stats show that you get, in the real estate world anyway, the second half of your year is where more of your closings and your income will come from, because a lot of the first half you're just building your pipeline. So I'm excited about this. I'm excited for Paul to teach us, especially me, about the Codex stuff and how it's going to be able to use our screens and become our assistants and do all kinds of things while we sleep. Super excited about that. All right, Paul, final thoughts on some artificial intelligence before we end.
Well, you kind of pulled the cat out the bag. But yeah, so there's a huge thing that just happened. So for all you people who have been out there bashing your head against the wall, trying to get these agents to do these things and paying for all these connecting pieces and all these integrations, all these API keys in order to get your assistant to do things for you, ChatGPT just 100% did it. And it's included in your current subscription that you have. If you have the $20 a month, there's something in OpenAI's portfolio that is known as Codex. If you don't have Codex, you need to download it now. And what Codex can do is you can record your screen while you're working in something. You can use their local browser, you can use a Chrome browser, you can use Safari, whatever you want to, but you record your screen and then you show you show Codex, which is ChatGPT, whichever way you want to look at it. You show it what you wanted to learn, and then it can just redo it for you whenever you want it, when you're sleeping, when you're awake, while you're working, whatever. So today, I'm going to teach Tricia how to do it, to run value for her using her MLS in seconds. And then tomorrow morning, I am going to teach that to the rest of the Rise and Thrive community. So as of right now, this is an exciting time to be alive, and this is an exciting time for you to get your time back. So as long as you're paying attention to the right people and you're not paying for a bunch of crap that you don't need.
No, love it. Okay, you guys, final thoughts on the market while we wrap up. What should real estate agents be doing in the second half of the year? Maggie, tell us.
Show up. Go, if you have an office, lock in, make your calls, set your calendar, be intentional with who you meet with, and just lead generate and go after those listings.
Love it. Amy, what say you?
I see use my favorite 4-letter F word and go for the free things in your life, which is social media. So capitalize on social media because it creates leverage. And if you will actually, after you're in your office, go visit the new builds in your area, you will find out all the amazing deals and promote them. Find the ones that are 3.9 interest rates, because guess what? At the end of the day, your job's to be a fiduciary to your buyer. So finding the best deals will make you the best agent. So go out there and hunt for deals.
I love it. And you guys, if you're in the real estate space and you want to tune in every morning and get like live training, Paul and I run a morning community called Rise and Thrive. So you can always jump on that and get 5 days for free. And homeowners, if y'all are thinking about selling your home, please contact one of us and let's really look at the numbers, because the market is critical. Homes will sell if they're priced right and they look good. But this aspirational pricing, it's not going to happen, guys. It's over. It was over a long time ago.
I agree with you.
Y'all have an amazing day. Bye, guys. Bye, y'all.